So I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna let you introduce yourselves, okay, and just tell us who you are. Tell us your name. How old are you? What grade are you in? How long you've been doing jiu-jitsu. Just tell us about yourself.
My name is Emmy. I'm 13, going on 14, and I'm in 8th grade. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 years, and I'm a first degree gray white belt.
Oh, I'm Jason. I'm Emmy's father. I'm 47. I'm going on 9 months training jiu-jitsu.
Has it been 9?
Started the second week of January.
Wow.
Yeah.
Flies by, doesn't it?
It does,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It does. It's really fun. I really enjoy it for the most part. But yeah, she actually, we both, I've been watching MMA since UFC 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Hoist Gracie. I was
exactly
15, I think.
Yeah.
And me and my friends, for some reason, his mom let us rent that. And I
Yeah.
remember we stayed up real late and watched UFC 1 a long time ago.
It was the little convenience store down the street for where Elizabeth and I lived. They had like 1 through 5 or whatever, so I'd rent them. And been into mixed martial arts since then. But I would say the last 5 years or so, she would actually sit down and watch MMA with me.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she would, sit there and watch the fights. What's this? Who's that? Well, I want to say Nate Diaz caught her eye with his jiu-jitsu. And
is that who it was?
I think so, yeah, I think so.
it was...
So is that what got you into jiu-jitsu at the beginning? I was
Yeah.
kind of curious. How did you get to the gym the first day? Like, what made you walk in there and say, I want to do this?
Because me and him were talking about it, and I was like, Dad, I want to do something like that cool. Like, I want to do jiu-jitsu. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I think he said he'd push it off because...
kids are...
He was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So I think in the next week I was like, Dad, I want to do it. I want to actually do something that cool. And he was like, okay. And so we looked up like a gym close to our house, and we saw 360, and we were like, oh, that place looks cool. Mm-hmm. So I think the first day we went up there, and I was really nervous because I didn't know what to expect. So I was like, okay, I don't know what do I do? And I was just super nervous. So my mom and my dad, we were sitting in the office, and we were like, they were signing me up and stuff. And I walked onto the mat, and Coach Nikki was like talking to me and stuff. She was like introducing me to the coaches and like telling me about all the people in the class. And so I was super nervous, and I didn't know what to do. So I just like stood there and I was like watching. And there was a bunch of kids in the class. So I was like, okay, maybe I should like calm down because they're like around my age. So I was like, okay, everything will be fine. And so I went with Coach Nikki. Like, she helped me, and like she drilled with me and stuff, and like did the technique with me. And like I was like, this isn't too bad. I kind of like this. And so I think when we got to the grappling part, I think I calmed down a lot because I really like grappling. So I was like, okay, I think I'll be okay. And so the class ended, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. I like this. And so my mom and dad were like, how did you like it? And I started crying. And I was like, I like it. Oh my God, it's like so cool. Yeah, I liked my first day. It was really nerve-wracking, but like it was fun. I really liked it. I remember most of it.
What was it about it that you liked so much, and what was it that made you cry?
I think the fact that like there was people in there that they either didn't know as much more than me, or they just didn't know anything at all. So I was like, okay, we're like on the same level. Like, I think most of it was that Coach Nikki, she was like there to help me and like calm me down. Cause I'm pretty sure she could tell I was nervous. Like, I'm sure everybody knew I was nervous because I was like one of the newer people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? And I think the fact that I cried is because there was people there that like helped me. Like the coaches and like Professor Gray and like Coach Hayden and Coach Nikki, they were like there to like calm me down, I guess. And they like knew that I was nervous. And like I'm sure it was obvious, so they were like they knew what to do, and like I guess them being so like supportive and stuff like really helped a lot with like yeah.
So the fact like just the way that the coaches and the atmosphere at the gym and the way the people treated you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I've said this I don't know how many times. I told Professor Gray this not too long ago. Like the culture that they have bred up there is really a kind of a special place. I've been to a couple of different gyms before. I took Taekwondo. I went to an MMA gym for a little. Nothing
Right.
major, but just as a hobby.
Right.
And I've talked to a lot of people from other gyms in the local area, and it really is a different kind of atmosphere and a different culture.
I mean, you can see it while they're coaching.
Yeah.
Before I started practicing, just when I took her to practice and I'd watch her practice, I mean, just watching how they interact with the students, you can tell that they have.
Like they love doing it.
They have a passion and a love for it. And that's the main reason why I love it there too, for her. Because you can see it, you feel it.
Sure.
Even with the adults, our classes, it's like a family. Even with the kids, I walk in and I'm smiling because I see the kids training and the parents there, whatever, and just the variety of people that are there. It just puts a smile on my face every time I walk in. Mainly to watch the kids grow.
Yeah, it's cool to watch the kids do it.
Yeah. Even at when we were at Girls and Geese, the tournament.
It's crazy.
I even afterwards, my daughter she faced off and with a girl that beat her, and sitting on the side of the mat, they 8-year-olds, they had become best friends.
Right.
And so that the girl that beat her went on to the finals and then lost in the finals and started crying. And she was over on the side, and my daughter was like, "Hey, can I go talk to her?" I was like, "Yeah, I suppose." So I said, "Wait till her coach is done." And when she was done, the girl was crying, and she got done talking to her coach, and my daughter went over and just gave her a hug and told her good job and kind of cheered her up. And her coach was her dad, and he actually came over and pulled me to the side because I had the 360 shirt on,
right,
and talked to me for a long time about just the atmosphere. You remember there were so many people there and being supportive and just the sportsmanship that our team showed. My daughter going and talking to her and everyone else, and just the crew that there. It was kind of neat to see that other gyms noticed. What was coming out of 360.
It's an awesome atmosphere up there.
Yeah,
it's
very
like
cool.
a family, So I tell, Amy, like today and later on this evening, we're both gonna be like, can't wait for tomorrow. We got practice tomorrow. It always hits us like the night before. It's like we're like caged animals.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. It's
so
awesome.
Fun. It's so fun.
It's like the thing with her. I mean, when she started, I've got arthritis in my foot. I've came up with 1,000 excuses not to do it. Financially was, the main reason, obviously. But watching her train and then leaving and watching you guys line up, I was like, oh,
yeah. I made it like, I took my daughter in there and was like, well, we'll see. I wanted to do it. And then I was like, well, let me see if it sticks with them before I sign up. And I made it like 3 days. And I was like, yeah, put me on.
See, that was the thing with her.
Sign me out. Get me started. Order my gi.
Yeah, well, since it was her idea, because like she said when she came to me and said that, I think I want to do jiu-jitsu. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll look into it. Whatever. And like she said, then she goes, well, did you look into it?
Like I kept reminding him about it. I was like,
I'm like, are you serious?
Did you like?
She's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Persistent, huh?
Yeah, I was like, come on, like you said you were gonna do it.
And see, the main thing was, if she didn't like it, since it was her idea, if she didn't like it, I wasn't gonna force her to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like she said, that first day she came off crying and she told me I loved it. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because I wanted her to love it, but if she didn't,
well,
that
and
was
as
her
a dad
choice.
too,
Right.
when you see your children find something like that, it is.
And it's been so good for her, man.
Yeah,
seriously, it's been so good for her.
Well, so I was talking about Girls and Geese a second ago at the tournament. Mm-hmm. So you were at Girls and Geese. That was
my first.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah.
First one.
Okay. Have you done a second yet, or?
I think I'm gonna wait a bit because I feel like I don't have enough experience as a gray belt yet. Maybe like when I hit my.
Oh, you moved. That's right. Yeah.
I waited a lot because I was super nervous, but I was like, I was going on gray white belt, so I was like, I had my red stripe, and I was like, why not just do it?
Although the girl she competed against was already a gray white belt.
Yeah. She had 2 stripes, I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've been a chicken since I put on my blue belt. So. Well, I was at that tournament. That was my youngest daughter did her first one.
They both competed
that tournament,
there.
and Savannah, it was her think that was her first at Gray when she moved up. So I saw your match. I was standing there, which I have told Cena this. You know, there's sometimes that, you know, things happen that you're fortunate enough to be able to see, and so I was there when you had your first match and your second and your third, and like just to see like the progress that you made in those 3 matches and to see the result and just the look on your face and how much it meant to you when you won that at the end and stood up, like all the adults standing around me, I think, felt the same. It's just like goosebumps, and you just knew that this was a big moment for this young lady, and it was like, man, like I am blessed to be here in this spot to witness that, because that doesn't happen very often. So will you kind of walk us through your journey in jiu-jitsu and what this is? You mentioned a couple of times is how much it's changed for you. So who were you before you found jiu-jitsu? What did you see when you looked in the mirror? What was pre-jiu-jitsu Emmy?
So I started doing jiu-jitsu in 6th grade, the middle of 6th grade. So before that I was in elementary school, and I would just come home and just like sit around and do nothing, just bored at home, and like I didn't have anything to look forward to, like, ever. Like, I would come home from school and I'm like, oh, I'm bored, I don't have anything to do. So it's like I didn't have anything to look forward to like how I do now, and like I would just sit home and do nothing, and it was just really boring. And I'm like, I don't know, I wish I got into it sooner, but I think now that I think I'm good where I'm at, because it's, you know how people say like stuff happens for a reason or whatever. So it's like I'm kind of glad that I just started where I started instead of doing it earlier. So I think it's a good idea that I started in the middle of middle school. But before all that, it was nothing. I didn't really do anything. I didn't have anything to look forward to. I didn't really have a conversation starter, because like my conversation starters are mostly about jiu-jitsu. People asking questions like, oh, what do you do? Stuff like that. So it's like it was really boring, honestly. Like, I wouldn't say my life was boring, but like it was just like really boring. I had nothing to like look forward to, nothing to be excited about. So it was just like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like, sure. You know what I mean? It's like,
what was your confidence, self-esteem things? What was that like before you started this journey?
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Pretty bad, huh?
Yeah. I didn't really see myself like how I do now.
And how is that? How do you see yourself now?
I'm sorry.
No, take your time. Take your time.
I'm like way more confident than I was before.
Can you articulate why that is? Because you won a jiu-jitsu medal, and that does breed confidence, and that's a big accomplishment. But I think it's a lot more than that. Can you sort of describe for people out there the bigger picture and what that meant in giving you that confidence and esteem?
I think once I did the competition, I like felt better about myself than I did before, because it's like there was so many people there that like supported me, and not even like the people on our team, but there was people from like there's girls from different teams that were there, and they were like watching, and then they were like every time you get done they would start clapping and stuff like that. And like the people that were like sitting in the stands, they would cheer for you even if they didn't know you. So I think the support and like the people there, and like our team and like the people, like the girls in our team and their families were there, and then they were, you know, I think it's the support and like the constant like people believing in you and like, you know, telling you like, oh my god, you're so good and stuff like that. But I think it was the support and like the professors and like the coaches, whenever you would get done, they would, you know, tell you how good you did and stuff like that. And
Who approached you? Was it your idea to compete, or did somebody approach you and say, hey, you should compete? How did that come about?
everybody thought, they were like, oh my god, you should compete, like we think you're ready to compete. And I was like, I kind of pushed it away because
Is that the coaches?
yeah. And I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of nervous, like I don't want to. And then they were like, come on, they were like pushing me to do it. And Coach Nikki especially, she was telling me, she was like, Amy, I see how you are on the mat, you could definitely compete. Like she was pushing me to do it. And I think that her pushing me finally like made me like not be as nervous anymore, because she was there to support me.
Because she had confidence. She had the confidence in you that you
yeah.
were laughing. Yeah.
She had more confidence in she had more confidence in myself than I did. You know what I mean? So it's like,
And I
yeah,
do know.
yeah. And so he showed me. He was like, "Oh, they're doing a competition in June," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I was kind of still nervous about it. I was like, "Okay, I don't know why you're telling me that. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't think I want to do it." And he was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Well, what? Like, let me see the details." And so he showed me, and it was a girls' one, and it was, you know, and I was like, that seems pretty cool. So I was like, okay. I was like, it was like a thing in the moment. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like, I was just like in the moment, and I was like, I'm probably not even gonna do it. I'll probably just say, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. But I was like, but I ended up doing it anyway. So he was like, okay, I'll tell Coach Nikki and Professor Gray. And I was like, okay. And so we get to practice or whatever, and then we talk to Coach Nikki and Professor Gray. They're like, oh my god, that's so cool, and they were like so excited to like, you know, finally get to see me compete. And then the competition day came, and I was so nervous, like so nervous.
Yeah, I remember seeing you. You know, you can see it. You're like, okay, just get out there.
Yeah, and like they called me like as soon as we got there, and I was like, oh, already? Like I didn't expect it to be this like to be moved this fast, and I was like, okay, like I don't know. I was like, because I did no-gi and gi.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one was no-gi, and I went with that girl. I think her name was like Isabella, I think so. I think her name was Isabella.
That was what I saw. So you had one other girl in your division. Mm-hmm. So you guys were 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
All right. So what happened?
So I think the first one, she won because we were both like, I guess, stalling. Because I was super nervous, and I was like,
I remember watching, and you guys just kind of like, nobody's gonna jump in,
and like everything went out the window, and I was like, all like my knowledge, because I guess like the fact that I was super nervous, and I was like, all I was thinking about was like my nerves and like the anticipation, and like my adrenaline was like pumping, so I was like, I do not know what to think about, like I do not know what to do, and so the coaches, and then our professors, and then the parents, and then my teammates were like, come on, Amy, you know. And her teammates and her coaches and her professors were all yelling and stuff, and you know, yeah. And so she ended up winning, and I wasn't mad. I was just disappointed in myself, because I was like, I know I can do better. I didn't try because I was super nervous, and I was like, okay, I just take it easy. But I regret taking it easy because like I knew that I could do better, and so I was like, maybe okay, next round I'll try better. I'll try harder. So
was any of that, you think, like self-doubt? Do you think that's where some of the nerves came, and I'm scared to try?
Yeah, I was like super scared to lose, but I was like, but that's the whole point of competing, is to win, is not even to win or to lose, it's to get the experience and getting to meet new people.
So after that first match, you know, and I remember seeing it, you guys kind of danced around each other, and then the referee was like, well, I guess you win. So what flipped that switch for you to say, you know what, like this next round I'm not doing that, like I'm about to, because it would be easy just to get into that same, especially after well, I doubt myself, and then I just reinforced it with losing this match. Like it's easy to go down that path, and so many people do. So how did Emmy turn that around and say, you know what, not me?
Because I started crying because I was upset, and like I was upset, and there was the coaches and like our team and my teammates were like, you know, like they were cheering me on, and so my dad and my brother, we went outside, and they were like talking to me and stuff, and we came back inside, and I think because I don't remember exactly what my dad said.
You remember what he said?
No, but he gave me like a little speech or whatever, and he was like, "It's okay, it's your first tournament, calm down."
Yeah,
Everybody
she was apologizing. She said,
Yeah.
"I'm so sorry."
I'm sorry.
I told her, I said, Emmy, from what I remember, I told her it's okay. This is your first tournament. It's okay. I remember she told me that it was nerves that got her, and I said, "That's fine." I said, "You got it out of your system." I told her, "You kind of know how she is. You know." I said, "You're gonna get back in there with her and just go have fun." And then the rest was history, I guess. She went in there and I believe won the second match. And then
I think she won the last one.
Won the last one on points or something.
Yeah.
And you know, after every round, she was crying. I guess it was adrenaline or something. But after she got done with the no-gi part, you know, I was like, okay, well, you know, gi's your strength, which absolutely is. I said, so go handle your thing. I said, you know, you're gonna do good. And then I think that's when her game face I saw change.
Gi went a lot better.
It really did, yeah.
Her superpowers came from that gi, man. She put that gi on, and it was like
your super uniform.
Yeah, man.
And and I was putting it on like in the stands with our team, and Professor Gray was like, "You're doing gi too?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh, cool." And so all the coaches were like, "Oh my god," because I guess they were surprised that I was gonna do two, but I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to get the feeling of both." Because, I mean, you don't really have a lot of, like, benefits or, like, advantages in no-gi because you don't have, like, grips and stuff. So I think I was most excited about gi because I could, like, pull guard. I pull guard all the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pull guard. I'm going to do all this and that. And, like, I had, like, a plan in my head. And whenever me and her got on the mat or whatever and we started like, instead of dancing around, we actually, like, started pulling each other down and stuff. I think I pulled her into my guard the first time.
I believe so.
I think so. And she had, like, her arm pushing my leg down. The one that I put on her hip, she was pushing it down. And I was like, oh, I can't grab it. Like, I can't do anything. And I was like, I was getting frustrated. But I think I ended up pulling her into my guard, finally. And I think I back swept her. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think I did. I think I swept her. And
I have to watch them.
I think I swept her.
We can get that if you give me a copy of that. We can put it on the.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We got some pictures too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I swept her, and then she went back or whatever, and then I think the match ended, and I think I won that one by points.
Yep.
Yeah, but the first one you won by points.
Yeah. And I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, I won!" I was super excited. I was like, oh, I can't believe I did that. And so I got off the mat and I shook hands with her coach, and then I think it was Coach Eddie or Professor.
It was either Coach Hayden or Professor Gray.
Yeah,
It was coaching you in that.
I think it was Coach Hayden.
Coach Hayden. That was in one of them. I
think it was Coach Hayden. So I went over and he was like, "Oh, Amy," and he gave me a high five and a hug or whatever. And so I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. I was like so proud of myself. I was like,
so what was it like? That's like climbing a mountain. Like you have been from not even wanting to compete and being scared to being talked into it to walking out on the mat to, to all of a sudden like now you've won a match.
It's pretty cool to like know that like before I was super nervous, and then like you said, getting talked into it, and then getting to the the place we were at, and I was like, okay, there's no going back now. I have to go. I have to do it. So I think that's pretty cool that like I like it all like stemmed from like me being nervous, and like if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. So I think that's pretty cool because like all the coaches were like, oh, you should definitely compete and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah, Coach
Yeah.
Nikki's the one who sent me the link to that when she was on Facebook. She's like, I think this would be perfect for Emmy's first tournament. I was like, I do too. I'll get back with you.
Yeah, that was a really good tournament. There was a lot of the girls competing for the first time.
Yeah, a
Kinley,
lot of us.
Kinley did too. You know, she was in the same situation. She fought a girl 2 out of 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, there wasn't very big divisions, so
Right.
the ages and weight classes were. She walked out, you know, and the girl stood this high
Right.
above her, outweighed her. I was like, oh man, you know, and she was really, really nervous to do it anyways. And I remember like, oh man, just don't let her get hurt in the first round, and then she wants to quit. And so she got armbarred in like 3 seconds. The first
really?
one, she got thrown down armbarred, and you know, she cried, and I was like, oh, okay. But she got back out there second time. She walked out, and the second time she, you know, she progressively got better. Like, you know, it went from like 1 second to, you know, she fought the same girl in gi and no gi, and then 2 out of 3 times in all of those. And she went from like, she lost in like 2 seconds to then the girl won on points to then, and it just progressively until, and then, you know, the very last match, like it was another one of those moments where the girl had her down and kind of smashed her head on the mat. And I saw her just start crying because it hurt.
Right.
You know, and she started crying, and it was just like, you know, I just saw her face. She just, furled her eyebrows and gritted her teeth and muscled up, and she, you know, she swept the other girl. She got on top, and she was winning on points. And there was like 20 seconds to go, and I was like, man, like, and
That's awesome.
right at the last second, the girl swept her.
Ah.
You know, and so she lost by 1. But, like, just to watch each match and how much better she got, and to see her, like, defeated and hurt, and just to keep getting out there on the mat and fighting, I was just like, man, you know, you just, as a dad, you're just like,
Yeah, oh, man.
I'm not crying.
Yeah, it's impressive, man, watching your kid, you know, literally fighting through battles, man, fighting through tough times, you know, on the mat.
Sure.
You know, just like the other day at practice.
It's hard. It's the things you want to protect them from, but you have to.
Yeah, I mean, even when I watch her at practice, I'm just like, wow, you know, and she's still, I don't know if she comprehends how good she's getting, you know. She's had.
I don't know, cause the other day me and him were like sitting on the couch, and he was like, he was looking at the videos and like me, like my first couple of weeks, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm like, what am I doing? So I was like, I think I have an idea of how, I guess, better I've gotten, but I don't want to be like, oh, I've gotten so much better. Like, I don't want to sound cocky.
She didn't have a big head about it.
Yeah, I think I have an idea of it.
You can be confident and humble at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? You can.
I mean, I've seen people at practice come up to her and tell her, man, you're awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like, thanks.
Yeah, I'm like,
thanks. Like, thanks, question mark. You know, I'm like, dude, don't doubt yourself. You're really good. And it was one of her last few times in the kids advanced. Now, you know, for people that are listening or watching, she's 13 and just recently started doing the adult advanced class.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you keep advancing. You tell him when you're coming
exactly,
home. Be curfew.
You know?
I come home when I want to, man.
Dude, I'm still in fundamentals, you know what I mean? But just one of her last couple of times there in the youth advanced class, I forget. I'm not good with names. One of the children's mom, I was sitting behind them, and she leaned over and told Elizabeth, my wife, how inspiring Emmy is to her, you know, watching Emmy practice and just battle and watching her do her thing. She's like, Emmy is so awesome. She inspires me, and, you know, and I'm like, wow, it makes me super proud, you know, as a father, just to see her do something healthy, you know, something that she loves. I tell she loves it, you know.
Yep.
She has a passion for it. It makes me proud, you know. I'm like, sure, you know, that's your daughter. You're always going to worry for her, you know, but you know in certain situations that she's going to be able to handle herself. And that gives me, you know, a little bit of peace at the same time, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know. You know, Savannah and Kinley both go up there, and I've been really happy that they have stuck with it this long, and they, surprising that they still like it at this point. But a big reason that I am glad they have stuck with it, and it's specifically at 360, is girls like you, Emmy, that like set a good example for them, that they watch get out on the mat even though they're scared, even though they're nervous, that they see battle through that they see it is a great example for young ladies at the gym. Like I don't know if you see yourself that way, but as the father of Savannah Kinley, I do, and I'm glad that you're there. I had in deciding to do this and record it, I was like, man, it's a cool story, and I hope it gets out there, and I was like, man, but it's YouTube, and the comment section was like, if you've been on the internet, you know what I mean. And I was like, man, do you put this out there? Do you open yourself up to like, what the haters are gonna say? And,
we're not worried about that.
Well, and part of the reason that I was like, you know what, I think this is a great story. Why do people get on there and write terrible things on the internet? It's their self-esteem issues. They're powerless at home, and they take it out on the internet. They do a lot of things. A lot of these people are in a place that you used to be in. Mm-hmm. And I hope that somebody sees this story, even if it's just one, that sitting behind the keyboard and says, you know what, like if Emmy can do this, so can I, and chooses to better themselves, chooses to not type something hateful on the internet and grow themselves.
Yeah.
I hope. I told Kinley at that Girls and Geese after she lost, and she came out, same thing, was like, I'm sorry, and was apologizing, and she was really embarrassed. And I asked her why. She said, everybody saw her cry and everybody saw her lose, and she was like all these. And so I asked her, I said, who would laugh at you and say anything about that? And she, we were down on the mat, and she kind of pointed up and looked up at the stands, and I told her, I'm like, the people in the stands, like, that's the people up there watching. Yeah. Like a lot of those people that would say anything don't know what it takes to walk out on that mat.
First of all, that takes courage to compete.
It's another human being that wants to harm you.
Exactly. I mean, just step out
when you look at it, and I put my 6-year-old daughter in it.
Just that alone takes, heart.
Sure. A ton.
I mean,
because when you walk out there, you've seen like you're
everybody's
in a wide open area.
Exactly.
There's no hiding, and there's no.
Everybody is like looking at you.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, it
and you feel it. Yeah.
You're just to be on the mat, just to do that, it takes some cojones. You know what I mean? There's people.
Very much.
I want to say something else, but I mean, there's people that'll never experience that.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but for someone their age to experience that early on, I believe is a huge benefit.
To go through with it.
Exactly.
To get there, it's right up until that point when they say, Emmy?
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
I don't know if I want to walk out there.
Yeah, it's because it was like the coaches and like the little thing on the board thing. It has your name and the person you're going against, and then I think it was the ref that called our names, and I was like, oh my god, we just got here. Like, how am I going out this soon and this early from us getting here? And so I went out there and I was nervous, but I tried to like push that away, and I was like, okay, time to focus. But then I ended up not using any of my technique because I was nervous. So it was really cool. It was really a fun experience. I really liked it, and I want to compete again, but not right now. Maybe sooner or later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a little time in.
Yeah.
No, that she's had just now got over some knee issues she's been having.
Uh-oh.
A little soreness and
Yeah.
pinching or whatever, and Coach Nick also, all three of us agreed we'd rather her be 100% competing because I think she.
So, what? Let me ask you this: What advice would you give to people that were in your shoes before you took up jiu-jitsu? What would you say that? What would you say to yourself 2 years ago?
To not be so nervous and like not doubt myself, but like not, you know what I mean? Like don't be I don't know how to explain it. Like,
Maybe don't be hard on yourself.
yeah,
Critical of yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's super fun once you start doing it. It's so fun. Like, before I stepped on the mat or whatever, like when I first bowed in, I didn't know what to expect, because the coaches or the professors and the coaches were showing technique, and it wasn't hard to comprehend. I was just like, that looks so cool. Like, I was so excited to do it, and I think a really, really good thing to say is like he said, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, you're gonna have times where it's like, oh, I'm not good at this, whatever. You're gonna doubt yourself sometimes, but it's okay, because everybody is like that. I haven't met anybody that's not like, that doesn't doubt themselves. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, I think it was a couple months ago, I was like, so like, I did not think I was just having a bad day. And I remember me and him were driving home, and he was like telling me, like, it's okay. He was like, you know what you can do. He said, he said, you know your skill level, you know how you are, and it's okay to feel like that, because everybody feels that way. So it's good to not be hard on yourself, because at first things are gonna be a little tough. It's gonna be hard at first, but it's good. You get over it. You get over it, because you're like, okay, I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. You can work on both. So it's like, it's good to not be hard on yourself. Like, that's the main thing, is don't be hard on yourself, and like, have fun, because it's really fun.
Have fun.
Yeah,
A lot
definitely.
of it's mental.
Yeah,
A lot of it's mental.
It's not just physical, but it's mostly mental than it is physical. Because you have to, like, when you're grappling, you have to think about what your next move is going to be, and you're also thinking about what the other person is going to do before you do it. And it's really fun. Like, honestly, like, I was so nervous, but my favorite thing is grappling, because you get to grapple with different people of like different skill level, different shapes and sizes, different. You get a feel of everybody, and it's really fun to get to grapple with different people and getting to get to know everybody and stuff like that. And I made a lot of friends from doing jiu-jitsu, and like, not just in the kid class, but like in the adult class too. And I have a lot of friends in the kid class, because that's where I first started, and yeah, I made a lot of friends. And
yeah,
it's really cool.
Was that something you didn't feel like you had before? Yeah. So jiu-jitsu has brought a lot of good people and a lot of support in your life.
Yeah, she was real before jiu-jitsu. She was real to herself.
Yeah.
And that's.
I remember seeing you, and occasionally I help out with wrangling kids up there, and
real quiet and
head down, take it the mat, like just go out there and kind of. Yeah.
I like talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever like I'm in the adult class, I like talk to all the girls and all the boys and stuff like that. And the kids class too. Like, now that I'm in the adult class, I get to like talk to my friends that are in that class and stuff like that. And like, I've gotten way closer with the coaches and the professors. And like, I'm not as nervous to talk to them, because now, like, before when I first started,
I still am.
Yeah, you've got that like that level that goes with that you're like, can I approach you? Can I approach you?
Before, when
permission to speak.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was like so intimidated by them. I'm like, oh my god, they're so like scary. But like, no, they're like such cool people.
And then you get to know them.
Yeah,
like, wow, these are
they're awesome.
They're awesome people. There's a whole gym, everybody there. You feel it when you walk in.
Yeah,
I do.
It's the culture there. It's just a group of people that
you feel good to be there. You know what I'm saying? It just, even with your training partners, I love to see my people there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just like I said. It's been really good for her to come out of her shell.
Yeah. So what ways so jiu-jitsu, obviously you're more confident on the mat, and you've gotten better, and how does that translate to your outside life, outside the gym? How has this affected you at school? How has this affected you?
A lot of people were like really amazed by it.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of my friends like for like.
So
some
you've
people,
gotten a lot of support from
yeah,
like people at school too.
Yeah, like my best friend, she comes. She'll spend the night sometimes, and she'll come to
She
practice.
was there at the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was there.
Okay.
She's like, I want to go see you, and I was like, okay. So we picked her up, whatever, and she came. So, a lot of my friends find it really cool that like I do it, and like I talk about it to them so much that they like know, they like have like some idea of like, they have some knowledge of it, I guess, because I always like babbling about it. I'm like, oh my god, this and that, and I think they just like find it so cool that like I have something to look forward to. And most of my teachers know that I do it too, so they're like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like my social studies teacher from last year, he like sometimes he'll be like, oh, how is jiu-jitsu going? I'm like, oh, it's good, thanks for asking, stuff like that. And sometimes people will get it mixed up with like judo or like karate.
Sure.
And my friends are like, no, it's not judo, it's not karate, it's jiu-jitsu. And then I'm like, okay. They're like, people are like, okay, sorry. But yeah, my friends are like, they're really supportive. And like, so is my family. My family's like really supportive of it. And they like, they're always there like, oh, I want to come see you train with your people at your gym. I want to see your tournament. And some of my family came to my tournament too, like my cousin and my aunt. And they came to see it, and they were so amazed by it. And they thought it was so cool. But like a lot of people like outside of G60 is super supportive about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. Because, you know, my family, they love hearing about practice and stuff like that. They love asking questions about it. They're like, oh, what did you learn? What did you learn? What did you do? Like that, because sometimes they watch the UFC, so they're like, oh my god, like I saw what you guys, like I saw what you do on TV or whatever. But yeah, it's really cool to know that my family and like my friends are super supportive about it, and like they know how much I love it, and it's super cool.
What's it meant for you and your dad? How I know Savannah and Kinley and I, like, this has been sort of a bonding thing that we can do together.
Yeah.
So is that the case for you guys?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. It's drawn us super, super close together. I mean, it's on our way home from practice, we're talking about practice.
Oh, today was a good day. Oh,
yeah.
I got this down and stuff like that.
Yeah, or I got my butt kicked.
Yeah.
I never heard that from her. I'm always getting you know, and then we get home, we're talking about training.
And then we tell my mom about it and my brother, and then like, oh.
Showing off our bruises, you know, and this and that and the other. And, I mean, it's given us, you know, unfortunately with my older son, you know, I really wasn't the dad that I should have been. You know, I struggled with a lot of addiction and stuff, and, you know, early on in our marriage, and, you know, I battled through that, got through that, you know, with support from my wife and family, of course, and stuff, but, you know, I lost a lot of time with him, but, you know, he and I are, you know, that's my son, that's my number one, we've got that bond, but, you know, with her, you know, they're saying daddy's a girl. That's always been true, but now that we actually have something that we share together on a daily basis, it's just like, she's my partner in crime, you know. I tell everybody she's my bodyguard, you know. You know, and it I don't know, I always go back to, it's just amazing to watch her grow, to watch how far she's come, and she's only going to get better.
You mentioned earlier, you said, you know, I wish I had started this earlier. And it reminded me of something. I said that one day, you know, I took Taekwondo when I was stationed in Korea.
Right.
I remember that was back in like, I don't know, 2000, I think. And then I worked out at an MMA gym in Wichita Falls for a little while. And then, you know, I came back here, we got out of the service, moved back here, and then finally my daughters are old enough, and years later. I love doing it, but it's like, man, you know, I'm 42 now. Like, I probably don't have enough time to, you know, make black belt and this kind of thing. And I've said, man, I wish I'd have found this in my 20s. And Coach Gray said, no, he said, you know, you find jiu-jitsu when you're supposed to. Yeah. You know, and it's, well, when he said that, I thought, I'm like, you know what? If 24-year-old me had found this, I would be probably the blue belt statistic. Like, I would have got my blue belt, like, cool sense of accomplishment. I'm going to go off and party. And, you know, like, I never would have stuck with it.
Use my powers for evil.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I never would have stuck with it. I wouldn't still be doing it. I have no doubt.
Right.
You know,
same.
And so, you know, the same is probably true for you. You know, you got to a point when you were ready to persevere through that. Yeah. Because it's taken a lot of perseverance and stick to it ofness, courage.
Yeah. I
To
mean,
get through what you've gone
she's going on 14.
Next
I mean,
month.
I told her, I said, look, I said, you're about to be 14. By the time you're 24, 25, boom.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned 47. I'm barely a 2-stripe white belt myself. I mean, hey.
Whatever.
By the time I'm 60, bro. No.
It's not the belt color. It's,
I know.
It's showing up every day.
Exactly. But,
Walking day.
That's the thing with,
Doesn't matter what color your belt is as long as you tie it on.
Yeah. But, that's what I told her. You started. She's like, when she's like, I wish I was younger, but that's what I look at it. I was like, you're going to be fine. You're young. You're going to be doing jiu-jitsu for a long, long time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, she's made me super proud overall. This is like, it's our father-daughter dance. It's on the mat.
It's on the mat.
Yeah, well, sometimes we'll go with each other and stuff.
That's the coolest part about it.
Yeah, getting
Just
to
being
go
able
with
to
you.
roll with her and
Yeah.
get my ass handed to me by her.
Like he'll be sitting
Mine
on,
aren't quite there yet, but they're getting there.
It's an awesome feeling. Man. It
like
is.
he'll be sitting on the bench. He's like, "Hey, you have a partner?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, come on."
Like, come on, gray belt. Next thing you know, I'm getting rear naked choked by a 13-year-old girl. It's awesome.
So I want to give you guys a chance to first, Jason. I'll let you give you a chance, and you guys have probably had this conversation before, but if you don't mind, kind of sharing it with everybody else. What is it you'd like to say to Emmy about what you've seen in her?
She hears it all the time. How proud I am of her. I could tell the coaches, having never ever been on the mat to where she is today, I couldn't be more proud of her. I mean, just to watch her grow, to stick with it, to have that passion for it, that never quit mentality, never give up, watching her lose matches at practice and then come around and win matches at practices against much larger opponents than her, full-size adult opponents is like mind-boggling, but at the same time, it's like, well, of course, she puts in the time, she puts in the effort, she literally has given blood, sweat, and tears and a couple of hurts here and there for the sport.
Injuries.
Yeah, but she doesn't give up, and I see it too when she's not having a good match or something at practice. Just that flick of the switch, it's a totally different person. It's something to be proud of for me, just watching her grow, watching her confidence, watching her bloom come out, of her shell, I couldn't ask for a better way to do it than with jiu-jitsu, because even after that tournament, I think it was the next day after the tournament, she was telling me, Dad, I just feel like I just got so much confidence right now.
Yeah.
And I told her, as you should, you've earned you've earned that confidence. But I told her, but just keep it humble.
I'm telling you, there was a visual climbing of the mountain at that tournament.
Yeah, and then I can't describe it any other way more than how proud she's made me, for her perseverance. Just to stick with it and never give up attitude, man.
Awesome.
You get beat up at practice. You're going to have, that's every opportunity. I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to go back, She's never said that.
Yeah.
She's not once ever said that she doesn't want to go back, or
I love it too much.
She loves it too much. She does.
I cannot go a day without going. We'll have an off day, but our off day is Tuesday. So Monday through Thursday, except Tuesday. And on Tuesdays, I'm like, man, I want to go. I kind of wish I didn't skip today. But then the next day, we're like, okay, we're back. It's better.
Yeah, Tuesdays are kind of hit or miss for us, but
I've seen you doing your homework in the
floor
at the gym.
There's a lot of kids that do,
Sorry if your teachers are watching. I'm gonna tell on you.
But she'll do homework. Amari does her homework up there, and
Cameron.
Cameron. There's a lot of the girls that, hey man, school is first. first and foremost.
Sure.
You know, and I even told her, I was like, okay, now that you love it and you're in it, and I said, first time you get a failing grade, guess what's going to happen until that grade comes up? I haven't had one problem in these last 2 years with her grades at all. You know, and I believe that has a lot to do with it too. It's jiu-jitsu, it's her dang it,
it's my passion.
That word, her discipline.
And you found it at 13. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of kids do things and like, I don't want to do it. This is boring. Mm-hmm. They outgrow it, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. They get tired of it.
But
I don't get bored of it at all.
She's consumed by it, which is awesome.
You mentioned a minute ago, like, so kind of the running theme in most of what you have told me is that the people and the support and all those around you and what you've gotten out of it has been the biggest, the biggest impact on you.
Yeah.
So I want to give you a chance just to kind of say, you know, what would you like to say to your coaches, your teammates, to those around you and in the support that they've given you?
Most of it, like, just thank you for, like, everything. Like, you can tell that the coaches and the professors do it because they love doing it. They don't do it just because they're bored. They do it because they want to genuinely help people get better at what they're doing and get better at jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And same with our teammates and the people like the parents that sit on the benches and watch their kid, or like watch, you know, like people will sit down on the benches and like watch you grapple and stuff, and like them just watching you helps you feel good about yourself. It's because like they're invested in watching you and watching everybody else grapple. So it's not just the people on the mat, but the people off the mat too. Like he said that one of the kids' moms said that I inspire her or whatever, and like that makes me feel good. It's like you know what I mean? Like, it makes me...
I think it was... There's a basketball coach, John Wooden. You probably don't know who he is. You might. He's quoted as saying a long time ago, good coaches change games, and great coaches change lives.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is really sums up what the coaches at 360 have been to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I would. I mean, like I said, I owe everything, who she is, to them. You know, she was a blank canvas when she walked into that gym 2 years ago, and they've created who she is today, which is a good thing. You know, not just her. A lot of people in that.
Sure. They
do change lives. Hell, they've helped me in a sense of feeling better about myself too. You know, it is an all around game changing experience being there for the better.
So you know, when you talk about a blank canvas and the coaches and everything doing all that, and that's mostly what we've talked about tonight. I want to take a minute to point out and make sure that you know that, like, you had the most responsibility in your growth, in your changes, in becoming who you are. Like, Emmy did that. None of us, none of the, not your parents, not your coaches, not your teammates. None of us can make you do those things. You know, there were a lot of influences, and I'm sure a lot of support along the way that's helped you. But at the end of the day, you are the one who made you. So I hope you take some credit for that.
Yeah.
She's too humble.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, man. You know.
Because, like, when somebody compliments you, like, one of the higher belts or, like, one of the coaches, it makes me feel good. I'm like, they think I'm good? Like, oh, my gosh. Like,
exactly.
Because most of my friends are, like, higher belts, and, like, they're in the adult class.
Mm-hmm.
they're like teenagers, so it's like it feels good to when we get done. They're like, oh, good job, like Amari, Cash, some of the boys, and like they're super like they're just supportive, and like if I don't get something right, I'm like, oh, I messed up. They're like, it's fine. Like nobody's gonna be mad at you. And I guess because most of my coaches, like, I'm kind of hard on myself sometimes, so it's like they know, they know like how to like calm me down, I guess. Because at the beginning, one of the drills or like one of the warm ups that we do is shoulder rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I would get so mad because I could not do them. I could not do them, and I would start crying, and I would get
Why?
so mad.
Remember what you told me? Why?
Oh, I said they're only doing this because they want to embarrass me. And then he's like, no, they're doing it.
It's the whole design.
Yeah, let's embarrass Emmy.
Let's give Emmy today.
And he's like, no, Emmy, they're doing it because that's the warm up. That's technique. I'm like, oh well. I'm like, no, they're not. They're trying to embarrass me.
Yeah, right.
So what about now?
I can do them. I do them pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty funny story. She
Yeah.
told me that. I was like, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Well, so I think the courage you've shown in this journey has been inspiring. You know, I always said, you know, what do they say? You know, it's courage is not an absence of fear. It's being brave in the face of it.
Yeah.
You know, so and man, what a good example of that. Is there anything that you want to specifically touch on or bring up?
Oh, okay. So like when he first started jiu-jitsu, he was like, I kind of want to do it.
Telling on dad now.
I was
All right,
like,
good.
I was-
Amnesty hour.
He was like, I want to do it, and I was like, really? I was so excited, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do jiu-jitsu. I was like super excited and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, my dad's gonna do jiu-jitsu, and I was like telling all my friends about it. They're like, oh my god, that's so cool. So when he first did it, I stood on the benches and I was like, yeah, dad, whatever. I was just like cheering him on or whatever.
Role reversal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I was sitting there and like he had his waters and like his towel or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, I get to see my dad grapple. And so when he started grappling, he was so like focused and like I could tell he liked it, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool.
I love it.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
And he stepped off, and I was like, do you like it? And he was like, I love it. And I was like, that's so cool. And I was like telling him about it. I was like, oh my god, you look so cool doing it and stuff like that. And he was like super focused. And I was like, this is so cool. Like my dad is doing jiu-jitsu. Like, and like I was like so ecstatic that he was doing it. Because I was genuinely happy because I could tell that he liked it. And like it made me happy that he had something to do. Like he's passionate about it. Like we both are. So it was cool to see my dad grappling with different people, and like now he's even made friends too. Like how I have, he's made friends too, and so it's really cool to see my dad like train and stuff. Like if I'm sitting on the mat with like my friends or whatever, like if we're sitting out or just talking, and I see him grapple, and I'm like, oh my god, like my dad, that's my dad, and so it's cool to like see him do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she told me the other day, you look like a little kid when you're...
Cause like Professor Lucas and I think it was Professor Gray, they were showing technique, and I looked over at him and he was like so invested in it. I was like, you look like a little kid. He was like so happy to like be there. It was Thursday. It was Thursday, and he was so excited, and he was like.
I think that's when you and I worked together.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the other night?
Yeah. Thursday?
Yeah.
I think it was when we worked together.
Yeah, I don't
when
remember.
They were
I
training.
had trouble remembering yesterday. So.
Yeah, when they were working the technique where you had the leg where you were showing me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he was super invested in it, and I was like, I looked over and I tapped him on our shoulder, and then we looked at him and we both started laughing because he was just like so like he looked so happy, and like it's really cool to like get to do stuff with him, because like you can tell how much he likes it. Like anybody, like not just us, but the people at the gym, like they like being there.
Yeah.
It's really cool to like see everybody like focus face, like when the professors or the coaches are like showing technique. It's like everybody is focused and everybody wants to get it right and stuff like that, and then you ask questions and stuff like that.
But yeah, they've all, they've helped her, and they're also loving, like can't get away from it, it's a family atmosphere with them, and they've, I've had a lot of them tell me, man, Amy's getting really good. I'm like, I can tell, thank you, and she finds it hard to believe. Just like I told you earlier, she doesn't. I don't think yet she's comprehend yet how good she is and how good she's getting. But
I think that's pretty normal. I find that with a lot of people, and no one ever feels like they're
right
where they deserve to be.
But I'm afraid once she does realize, and it's like, boom, oh yeah, you know. But she's a good kid, you know. I don't believe I ever have to worry about her getting a big head over it or being conceited about it or using her superpowers for evil.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, not be corrupted.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's she's good, man.
And like I said before, I made a lot of friends up there, like not just with the girls, but some of the boys too. And like they're super cool too. And like I have a lot of the girls up there are super supportive and like they're super cool. You know, they're just like sometimes we'll sit and like we're waiting for our class. Like we'll sit in our little group on the mat and we'll just talk or whatever. And yeah, it's really cool. Like I know it might sound cheesy, but like I consider them like my sisters, cause like
it's not cheesy at all.
What's up, Bam? No.
Yeah, but they're they're super cool. Yeah.
So there was something I read the other day. There's it's a book I read not too long ago. It's got a super long name. It's Michael Simpson. He's a black belt now. I think he was brown. I think he's black now. But he wrote a book called Bruises: Divorce, Crazy Land, Jiu-Jitsu, Journey to Black Belt. It's his story of going through crazy life phase. Got divorced, got all these different things, and was battling with depression, was drinking and partying all the time, and just kind of a mess. And through his nephew, he found jiu-jitsu. And it's just his journey of what that meant for him and how it jiu-jitsu's not the cure for anything.
Right.
Like, nobody's prescribing you to go, fight people and that's going to fix anything. Jiu-jitsu's a tool that offers a lot of benefits for sure. And this was his journey using that tool. And out of that book, there was something that I wanted to read. It says, in these brief moments of sparring, I find something inside me possessing a superiority, not over man, but over mind and matter, over my own mind and physical body. This is the reason I am here. That is what I am seeking to gain, dominance over my own limitations, so that I may grow above myself in the face of a challenge. And whether the outcome is win or lose, maybe it will lead me to the warrior within. That was, as I read that, it's something I've had scribbled down on a notepad or something since I read that book a while back. And in thinking about doing this recording, like that was something that stuck out to me because of that last line about leading to the warrior within. And I think that's something that you have in you, Emmy. I think you always had it. You just didn't know it was there. And jiu-jitsu, 360, these coaches, these teammates, all of these things has been the tool that helped shine some light on it and helped you find that.
To help develop it, man.
And thank you. Like I really appreciate you coming here to do this and tell me that story.
I was super excited.
Yeah.
I was telling him, I'm like, oh my god, when are we gonna do it? I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, we had to postpone it a couple of times.
Well,
I wanted to do this at Girls and Geese when I, like I said, then that's not just an embellishment. I remember thinking like, wow, this is like, I'm lucky to be here and watch this transformation happen in this 5 minutes on the mat. And ever since then, I was like, man, one of these days I got to sit down and just find out what this. Because I saw you, when they raised your hand and, just the waterfall and just that. And I look over at Dad and he's tearing up. Half the people in the stands are, and I was like, man, this is, what's behind all of this emotion. I really wanted to know. So I thank you for telling me.
She's come a long way, man. Yeah. Long way. From a little quiet, timid little girl to, competing. Mm-hmm. Takes guts.
Yeah. Man, it does. It does.
Takes a lot of guts. It takes guts to even start training jiu-jitsu, man. Just to walk in a joint takes guts, because you're exposing yourself. You're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself into uncomfortable situations you've never put yourself into before. You're trusting your partners to let go when you tap. You know what I mean? I've never had that experience, but still,
Yeah.
you're literally vulnerable. You know, it's like.
But it's fun at the same time.
But yeah,
It's
that's
fun.
what
Yeah,
makes
it's
it fun. You know, it's like I guess everybody's heard it takes a certain kind of crazy to go get your butt handed to you every day.
Yeah.
This is that one, like a boxer. A boxer has a puncher's chance. You could square off with anybody if you land it.
Yeah.
You probably won't, but
Right.
you could. Like, this is one of those things when somebody's been doing this for a lot longer than you. Like, you're like you're going to lose. Like,
Yeah. Face it.
you're gonna get beat up. You're gonna you're not going to get lucky.
No.
I watched Lucas last night on Flow. Man,
Wanted to
so
see it so
shout out
bad.
Lucas. That was a
Congratulations,
amazing match,
Professor.
accomplishment. He beat Zhao Miao.
Nice.
But yeah, so I watch him and it's like there's literally no luck in the world that's
Yeah, he's a beast.
that's gonna help me right here. So
He's a beast, man.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
About whatever.
Alright.
So I think it's really cool that I've made a lot of friends from doing it, because before I did not have many friends at all, or I had friends in elementary school, but not as many as I do now, because I have friends from 360 and I have friends from school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm super glad that I've made a bunch of friends and I get to talk to these people every day after school, and I get to go see them and I get to talk to them, and I get to learn with them. So it's cool that I have met these people and I have the chance to grapple with them, and not just people my age and people my size and skill level, but some of the adults too. Coach Jude, he's super cool. He's
actually pushes her.
He really does. Yeah.
He actually had a hand in her coming to the adult advanced class.
He's the one that pushed me the most. He was like, "You need to do it already." He was telling me, he's like, "You need to do it." He's like, "You're good enough to do it." I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah."
And it was funny that night where we asked Professor Gray, because at first I called Coach Nikki this out. I'm like, "Well, he wants to do
the adult class
full time. Is that okay?" She's like, "Yeah, that's fine." She goes, "Matter of fact." So we called Professor Gray over. She was nervous
because
about asking him.
Yeah, I didn't want him to be like no, and I was like, "Oh no."
So I'm like, "Hey, Amy's got a question to ask you." So she's like, "Is it okay if I do the adult?" He's like,
"Yeah,
sure."
And
then she was like, "That's it?" And I'm like, "That's all right."
yes.
All you had to do was ask. Hello.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been in that a month already or something like that, maybe something like that. Well, she'd been doing her class.
I've been doing my class and then his class.
And the adult advanced class for months already.
Yeah.
So
it's very cool. I think it's the sport in general, and it's definitely true of the gym that it's a lone sport. It's you. You battle with yourself to be as good as you can, and when you compete, it's you against this other person, and it is a lone sport. But it's strange to me how much of a team effort the entire thing is. Without that team, it would be very difficult to be a good lone practitioner.
Yeah. You gotta have your teammates and those bumps and bruises, man. How else can you better yourself?
Yeah. The other hobby I have, I run triathlons, and it's that's the similarity. I kind of was like, man, how do I they're two pretty different things, man, what is it about these two things? And as I thought through it, it's the same culture. It's you show up to a race, and the guy that you're competing with, or the guy you were about to race, or how many times does somebody give you I forgot tape. Well, here, the guy you're about to fight at a tournament lets you use his tape, or the guy at a triathlon gives you his bike pump, and I think it's because everyone gets this is a competition within yourself. We're both going to do the best that we can do, and there's going to be a winner at the end of the day, but really the unspoken winner is, did I beat you and who you are today, but did I beat myself from yesterday?
Yeah.
And as long as you do that, that's the goal.
For sure. Yep, for sure, man.
It's, we talked about self-esteem and confidence and all of that. The antidote to low self-esteem and feeling all of that self-doubt is, I don't think there's any substitution for success.
Right.
Do some things, accomplish some goal, win some things, do well at some things to overcome that.
You feel a lot better about yourself.
And jiu-jitsu, I think, is so effective at that, because every single time you train, you compete, anything you do is there's a small victory to be had. Mm-hmm. Whether it's just, man, I did my best. It's, this thing that got me yesterday, like now I've learned how to not get got. Mm-hmm. Or this person I couldn't get yesterday, now I got him today. Or this move that I, watched on YouTube. Sorry, coach.
Or even simple things like not sitting out around. Little victories like that. Of course, you do a couple rounds, you got to catch your breath.
Yeah, to see the cardio that you're like, now I can go 5 minutes. Yeah. Now I go 5 minutes.
Yeah,
now
it's a trip. Those are little accomplishments.
Think about day one.
Victories. Yeah.
I thought I was going to... Coach Boo was the first guy I think I ever rolled with. And I was pretty sure I was going to throw up on him. And luckily I didn't. But.
I know my first night, I had to make a little trip to the restroom and let some water out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, funny story. So you know Coach Boo, right? Or mm-hmm. Professor Boo.
Yeah.
So... my first day at the academy. This is I might edit this out, but I'll tell you guys. So I'm standing there and I'm pretty early. It's the adult class. Taking the girls home. And I'm like, all right, it's gonna be my first night. So I'm there. Got my brand new gi that still smells like the plastic mm-hmm. and has the seams in it. So I'm getting it all out and putting it on. And like I said, I had done a taekwondo a little bit, and I did some MMA like informally training and.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm not brand new, so I'll be okay. Well, in comes this guy, and he's 145 pounds, He walks in, and he's getting dressed beside me, and he's talking to me. Oh, hey, introduces himself, and he says hi, and he's putting on wrestling shoes,
mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay.
Headgear.
And he's putting on his headgear over his ears, and I'm like, man, this guy, like, all right, so I'm kind of like, man, this guy, like, he pulls out his gi, and it's got Batman patches. So, here's this guy wearing, headgear, shoes. He's got comic book patches on this thing, and I'm like, all right, so my first night, I'm like, this guy's smaller than me. He's got these nerdy comic book patches on, like, I'll be his partner, this is my first night, and like, that way it'll, that way it won't be so bad, maybe I can at least,
right,
outmaneuver him, or use strength, whatever, and then, so as this is rolling through my head strategically, I see him bend over and reach into his bag and pull out this like tattered black belt, and wrap around his waist, and and walk off to the mat, and I just, was like, man, that's.
You never
You
know.
don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know, man. You never know who knows what. Especially nowadays.
I greatly misjudged that.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, dude. It seems like somebody's training something nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is good. Because you see a lot of stupid people, a lot of stupid, ignorant stuff happening on the internet, man.
Sure.
And sometimes I'm like, I wish but it's like, but you're better than that, but it's mm-hmm. it's like, I don't know, man, you got to prepare yourself, because there's a lot of ignorant people in the world, man. You never know when you have to defend yourself, your child, your wife, or your home, Like I said, I've gotten some peace knowing what she can do, but, you're still going to have that's my baby, that's my daughter. You're still gonna have that protective, worrying feeling, but I've got confidence if something were ever to happen. I'm pretty sure she'd be able to handle herself, for the most part against someone her size or a full-grown adult.
I got called by the school, one of my daughters, last year. We had to go because of the zero tolerance policy. And she had, she beat up 2 little boys on the playground. And so I got called and was like, afterwards, took her after school and said, hey, like, what are you doing? And in my mind, the teacher's telling me this. And it's like, okay, so obviously she took her jiu-jitsu lessons and went to school and was like, picking on this little boy. So I'm already going into it prepared to be like, you're in trouble,
Right.
But I'm like, hey, what happened? Tell me the story. So, she told me that apparently the kids are playing, there's some kissing game on the playground, and these little boys had chased her down, and one of them had pinned her up against the chain link fence and was holding her, and the other one was trying to kiss her. And I'm like, all right. I said, did you tell them to stop? She said, yeah. Like, she screamed to stop like a bunch of times, and they didn't. And so she front kicked the one in the stomach, and he went down, and then she grabbed the other by the collar and snapped down.
Nice.
And they ran off, and
nice.
So, and of course the little boy started crying and went and tattletaled. And so I got called, because the school has a zero tolerance, so. But it's, in my mind, like, I went and talked to the teacher, and I was just like, hey, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. Like, my daughter told me the story, what happened. And they even said, yes, we've talked to the boys. Like, she did say stop, and they kept going, and I'm like, well, like, I mean, just so you guys know, like, I'm not sure what you wanted me to do to her by telling her that, but we went and got ice cream. Like, just so you're aware.
She's defending herself, man.
Yeah, like,
hey, that's a girl, and you got two little snot-nosed boys. And,
I get it.
All
They're 6 playing the kissing game. It's
Yeah.
it is what it is. But just like, all right, I hopefully I don't have to. That's one less thing I have to worry about.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly, man. For sure, man. For sure.
outstanding.
Cool, man. Thank you.
So unless you got anything else.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Other than thank you for what the academy has done for both of us.
Yeah.
In and outside of the joint. The confidence they've given both of us. And, I've changed I've lost a lot of weight since I.
How much have you lost?
Oh man, I was right at 220, 215. Now I'm back and forth from like 198 to 196.
All right.
So about 20 pounds ish, maybe something around in there.
That's
My
great.
math sucks. 15 pounds, maybe something like that. But yeah, I've always liked to eat like chips and snack on cakes and things. But now when I get snacks, I eat a lot of pistachios, almonds, protein stuff, high protein stuff now. Still you can eat junk here and there, but for the most part, I don't like at work because it's so easy. There's a Walgreens behind us. They've got everything unhealthy there, but then I mainly load up on like a Chex Cajun with like peanuts and just like sesame seed sticks stuff in there like that. It's not bad, but it's not good either. But then I eat a lot of pistachios. When I get hungry, I'll just eat pistachios and almonds because those are pretty good for you. So, but yeah, it's helped me out a lot with losing weight, stamina, feeling good.
It's weird how you can feel so low on energy, and it seems like, all right, I need to rest more, I need to take more time off, but it's the opposite. Like,
Once you
going
get
and
out
doing
there.
something like this, gives you so much more energy.
I mean, I tell you what, I feel, I just turned 47. I feel a lot better, stronger than when I did when I was in my mid-20s and 30s,
Mm-hmm.
How I was already strung out, addicted and stuff, but still, I'd tear myself up if from 10 years ago.
10 years though, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Yeah,
so
it's
congratulations,
10 years, man.
man.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy, but I got fed up with the lifestyle I was living. I was done. Mainly, I didn't want her growing up seeing the way I was, thinking that's the way husbands and dads are supposed to be. That was my main motivation, was her. I didn't want her to ever have to bring somebody home that was the way I was. Because, are you kidding me? I don't think so. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a rough journey, man. There's a couple other things that we haven't hit on, but
Well, I have no doubt that this was a very rough journey throughout it, but this has been
Yeah.
just this one little thing has been a piece of you guys' life that
Yeah.
has been a very integral part of it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I think that's so cool that I get to
You got that bond.
share this experience with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like super cool.
I think it's very cool that you realize how fortunate you are
At an early age.
that you recognize that, like, man, this is a moment that I can be thankful for, and I'm blessed to be here. Like, there were a lot of people who don't realize that.
Yeah.
I've grappled Professor Gray before, like twice.
Did you tap him out?
No,
not yet.
But you can like, it's crazy.
Might be a while.
Yeah, it's crazy because you can like tell how strong he is.
Yeah.
He's so like strong. I'm like when he's going with me, I can like still feel like how strong he is, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Even though he's going like
2%.
Yeah, 0.5%.
And like every time we get down, he's like, good job. I'm like, oh, it feels so cool to like know that my professor is like he saying good job and stuff. Like,
Acknowledging your skill, yeah.
And it's so cool because every time me and him go, it's only been twice, but like every time we go with each other, I get excited because it's like because he's so cool and like he's so like
Professor Gray's awesome.
I know how to explain it. It's like I can't comprehend how like how caring he is, and like when I said before like how I couldn't do shoulder rolls or whatever, he would like sit me down and talk to me. He's like this is something you shouldn't be discouraged about. He was like, it's a little thing that you can work on and stuff like that. And he would like help me. He would like pull me away from everybody that's like doing doing the drill, and then he would go along with me and like show me how to do it step by step. And like he's not like that with just me. He's like that with everybody.
Yeah.
He's like that with everybody. And it's like
super caring, man.
Yeah, and if you can't get it right, not just him, but the rest of the coaches and professors will sit there with you and walk you through it until you get it right. I think that's like so like I can't comprehend it because it's like I've never met such supportive people before, and they do a lot for us. And like I'm like during rankings and stuff, Professor Gray will when I got my first stripe, he's like, "Are you excited?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And he was just laughing, and he was like, "Good job, I'm proud of you." I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Even your last one, what did he tell you? Are you excited?
Are you excited? Like
to this day, are you excited?
So they make you feel like an individual, and they make you feel special, even though you're in a class of 25 people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a group atmosphere, but you still feel like
got that
this
one-on-one.
person is one-on-one.
They show attention to every person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like not one person gets more attention. It's like equal.
That's right.
Well, that's less the, to me the biggest benefit, like that's less the technique of learning something, and more when you're new to the gym. When you first go in and you're standing there, and you're like, you don't know anybody, and you don't know when you're new, is this like a bunch of alpha males that are sizing me up,
right.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Or is this, so when you say, "Hey, come here, let me help you out," it's welcoming, and that's the biggest thing, I
Make
have
it feel
seen
welcome
up there
for
is
sure,
like,
man.
or the fact that somebody like Professor Gray or Professor Lucas is like, "Hey, when you're just standing there, like, hey, come on, like, this is a dude who's on the world stage that's like, hey, come here, let me, not only, he's not looking down on me, but two, he's taking a chance to like, he doesn't know, like maybe I'm the erratic idiot that hurts him, but he's taking that chance to make me a part of the team.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I think my favorite thing about our gym is like the diversity of everybody, because nobody is the same.
Right.
Like nobody is the same there. It's so fun.
It's definitely very cool, and it's an enlightening experience when you realize when you say everybody's different. Like you don't consciously really think of it, but it's true that like different social classes, different races, different religions, different sexual preferences, different everything. Like but everybody's dressed the same. There's no cliquey fit in groups.
Right.
And when you really start thinking about some of the people up there, you're like, yeah, man, like I'm so much different than this person, yet you're friends and you work together.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
We all have one thing in common.
Yes, it shows you that the world does not have to be as divided as it is right now. Like you can, just in that class, in that 30 by 20 foot mat, you can see that like all of these problems that we have out here don't have to be.
Yep. Yep, that's for sure, man. Yep.
Very cool.
Yes.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about jiu-jitsu is grappling. That's my favorite thing.
Well, that's
That's-
probably a
yeah.
good thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I hate grappling.
It's
Well,
no,
you
it's so
shouldn't
fun.
be in it.
It's